If you're pregnant right now and you've peed in more cups than you can count, or you've had your blood drawn so many times that the phlebotomist knows your name, maybe you've watched your baby on countless ultrasound screens and you've memorized every single fruit or vegetable milestone in those pregnancy apps, but nobody has once measured the system that's literally controlling your baby's entire development. You gotta hear this one. And this is what your OB does not tell you. While they're monitoring your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your baby's growth, those are important. There's one critical system being completely overlooked. It's your nervous system. And it's not just important, it's the master control system that's orchestrating everything else. So, this video isn't just another thing to add to your worry list. This is actually the most empowering information that you'll get during your entire pregnancy. So this video is for the pregnant mamas who are doing everything right, but you're still feeling anxious, you're stressed, or you're overwhelmed. It's for women who sense that something's missing from their prenatal care, but can't quite put their finger on what. And it's for the moms who want to give their baby the absolute best neurological head start to life, but nobody's giving them the tools to actually do that. And so in this video, you're going to discover why your nervous system is the most important system during pregnancy and why nobody's measuring it. We're going to talk deeply about the 3 scans that show exactly how your stress is affecting your baby's development, how your nervous system is literally programming your baby's nervous system right now, why this matters more than any other prenatal test that you'll take, and what you can actually do about it to optimize outcomes for your birth as well as your baby's head start. So, this is something that may piss you off. So, during pregnancy, you'll have somewhere between 12 to 15 plus routine appointments. You'll get weighed every single time, your blood pressure's getting checked every single time, your urine's tested repeatedly, ultrasounds throughout, blood draws for everything from your blood type to group B strep. There's the glucose tolerance test and a genetic screening, non-stress test if you're high risk. Your medical team's collecting all of this data, but they're not measuring the one system that controls literally everything else within the body. The system that's managing your stress response, your hormone balance, your sleep, your immune function, and, which is the critical part, the system that's programming your baby's developing nervous system for the rest of their entire life. This is your nervous system. And I've had moms sit in our office, 28 weeks pregnant, stressed out of their minds. And when I ask, has anybody measured how your nervous system is functioning? They look at me as if I just asked them a question in a foreign language. And this is what breaks my heart completely. By the time that they find us, they've already been living in fight or flight mode for months. Their baby's nervous system has been developing in a stress reactive environment. Not because they did anything wrong, but because nobody told them that this even mattered, let alone gave them a way to measure it and address it completely. So listen, your nervous system is the master controller. And I want to be crystal clear about this. Your nervous system isn't just another body system. Quite literally, it's the master controller for everything else. And while you're growing a human being, your nervous system is coordinating thousands of hormonal changes every second. It's managing your stress responses through what's called the HPA axis. It's controlling your immune function. It's regulating your sleep and wake cycles. It's directing blood flow and nutrient delivery to your baby. And it's preparing your body for labor and delivery. And this is the part that changes everything, is that your nervous system is also directly programming your baby's developing nervous system through something called co-regulation and fetal programming. You see, your baby's nervous system isn't just growing randomly, it's learning from yours. So every signal your nervous system sends, stress hormones, inflammation markers, regulatory patterns, anxiety, and fear, all of that crosses the placenta and teaches your baby's developing brain what normal looks like when they're earthside. So if your nervous system is chronically stuck in fight or flight mode from stress, anxiety, or previous trauma, your baby's nervous system is learning that the world is a dangerous place before they get here. But when your nervous system is balanced and regulated, you're teaching your baby's system that it's safe to rest, to digest, to grow, and to thrive. Now, here's where it gets practical. Now, at Haven Family Chiropractic, we use something called the insight scans. There's three completely non-invasive scans that take about 10 to 15 minutes total, and it gives us a complete picture of how well your nervous system is functioning. So the first test is what's called thermography or the neurothermal. It measures autonomic nervous system balance. Essentially, are you stuck in stressed out sympathetic gas pedal mode, or can you access that calm parasympathetic brake pedal state that you and your baby desperately need? Now, this scan acts like a stress thermometer for the entire body, but it shows us exactly where stress and subluxation is creating interference that's keeping you stuck in survival mode instead of thriving mode. And for pregnant moms, this reveals whether your body is in a state that supports optimal fetal development or if you're running on those stress hormones 24/7. The second test is what's called surface EMG, and it reveals the physical patterns of stress within your nervous system, where you're literally holding tension in your body. And during pregnancy, it shows us how much energy your nervous system is wasting on maintaining tension patterns in your posture and fighting gravity instead of directing that energy towards growing your baby. It shows us where stress and subluxation is causing muscles to work in overtime, draining the system. And so think about it this way: if 40% of your nervous system's energy is being spent just maintaining chronic muscle tension in your neck and your upper back, that's 40% less available energy for supporting your baby's development. Now, heart rate variability, it's the gold standard for measuring nervous system adaptability and resilience, or what we call vagal tone. This test shows us how well you can shift between gas pedal and brake pedal, stress and rest, how resilient you are when facing stress, whether your system has the flexibility to handle the massive demands of pregnancy and an upcoming labor. I talk about it so much as like the battery charge for birth. So a healthy HRV means you can roll with the punches. A compromised HRV means you're white knuckling through pregnancy and your baby's developing vagus nerve is learning those same rigid, stressed patterns. And this is what important. The scans are completely safe. There's no radiation. There's no invasive procedures. Nothing in the body, nothing getting taken from the body. Nothing that can harm you or your baby. We're simply reading the signals that your body's already producing. So you could have them done every single day, even though that's not necessary. But there's going to be no risk to that whatsoever. But this is what they actually reveal. Because when we scan pregnant moms, this is what we consistently see. There's high sympathetic dominance. That gas pedal is pressed down hard. The constant medical appointments, the testing, the we need to keep an eye on this messaging, the financial stress, the relationship changes, the fear about labor or becoming a parent, it all accumulates. The nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode. There's the suppressed parasympathetic there's the suppressed parasympathetic function. That brake pedal is barely working. The body physically cannot shift into that rest, digest, grow a baby state, even if we want to. So, even when we're trying to relax, even when they need to for their baby's development. Now, low vagal tone, heart rate variability is oftentimes in the red, a little bit stressed and stuck. Sometimes we need to get out the paddles and get things moving. The nervous system is rigid and inflexible, which means that their baby's developing nervous system is learning those same exact patterns. The specific areas that we often see with moms is usually within the upper neck, oftentimes in the upper back. Now, this is creating direct interference with the nerves that controls the uterus, the reproductive organs, and our stress response. But this is the kicker: these moms almost always tell us that they feel fine or that they think that stress is just normal pregnancy stuff. You see, we've normalized being in survival mode because nobody's ever shown us what optimal actually looks like. And here's why this matters more than you think. So let's connect the dots here. Research published in Development and Psychopathology tracked mothers and babies from pregnancy through age 6. Babies born to moms with high prenatal stress showed nervous systems that were 20% more reactive at 6 months old. So these babies also showed 8% lower self regulation capacity, 8% lower positive emotional engagement, poorer recovery from stressors, a greater risk for anxiety, depression, and behavioral problems as they grew. 22%. And this is measurable. It's quantifiable nervous system dysregulation that started before birth. Other research has actually documented that there's lower cognitive function and impaired speech production in children born after high stress pregnancies, increased risks and rates of ADHD, higher incidence of anxiety disorders, more traits associated with autism spectrum and ADHD and neurodivergency. Now, this is what your OB can't tell you is that none of those studies measured or addressed the mom's nervous system function. They just observed the stress and documented the outcomes. But what if we could measure the nervous system dysfunction that's creating that stress? What if we could actually address the stress and subluxation that's keeping mom stuck in this fight or flight mode? And what if we can optimize nervous system function during pregnancy instead of just hoping for the best? It's exactly what scans allow us to do. But this is the part that makes everything so powerful because your baby's not just passively floating in there. They're actively learning from your nervous system every single second through co-regulation. So that umbilical cord, you could think about it as both a nutrient delivery system and a nervous system communication highway. Your stress signals, your regulation patterns, your hormonal responses, all of that is programming your baby's developing brain. And research shows that maternal vagal tone, that measure of nervous system resilience, directly influences your baby developing vagus nerve, their future digestive capacities, their immune system programming, the emotional and social regulation, their ability to self soothe, and their response to stress for the rest of their life. So, a well developed vagus nerve means that your baby will likely experience better digestive function, so less colic and less reflux, improved sleep patterns, stronger ability to calm themselves, a more robust immune response, and enhanced social emotional resiliency as they grow. The thing here, it's not about being perfect or stress free because that's impossible during pregnancy for sure. But it's about giving your nervous system the support that it needs to maintain balance so that your baby's nervous system can develop optimally. So here's where this becomes empowering instead of overwhelming. Because when we scan a pregnant mom and we see exactly where her nervous system is struggling, we create a specific care plan using neurologically focused chiropractic care to address the stress and subluxation that's keeping you stuck in sympathetic dominance. Now, these aren't the aggressive adjustments that you might be thinking of or that you see on TikTok and that everybody's talking about. We're talking about incredibly gentle, specific corrections. Oftentimes, in certain areas, no more pressure than checking a tomato for ripeness. But these are designed to remove the neurological interference and restore balance. Because when we remove that stress, when we remove the subluxation, the sympathetic nervous system can finally calm down. The parasympathetic system can actually activate properly. Vagal tone starts to improve, heart rate variability increases, and the stress signals crossing the placenta decrease. And your baby's developing nervous system gets the regulated environment that it needs to grow and to thrive. And here's what moms consistently report, oftentimes after a few weeks of care, is that sleep becomes restorative again. Not just, I got 8 hours, but I'm exhausted. Their anxiety decreases significantly. There's the physical tension and the pain starts to reduce. Digestion and pooping improves. They feel more connected to their baby, but they approach labor with confidence and preparedness instead of fear. And the most important part, their follow-up scans throughout their care shows objective improvement. So we're not just asking, how do you feel? We're measuring the actual changes within nervous system function. And this is something fascinating. Moms that are under neurologically focused chiropractic care during their pregnancy consistently report shorter labor times, less need for interventions like inductions, and epidurals, or C-sections. There's better fetal positioning, easier recovery in the postpartum, and better breastfeeding outcomes. The reason being is because their nervous systems are balanced and adaptable going into labor. Their bodies aren't fighting against chronic tension and subluxation. The nerves controlling the uterus are functioning optimally, and their stress responses are regulated. You see, your body knows how to give birth. Sometimes it just needs its nervous system freed up to do it optimally. So, this is what I want you to understand. You don't have to just hope that your pregnancy goes well. You don't have to just accept that stress is just a part of being pregnant. And you don't have to wonder if your anxiety is affecting your baby because you can actually measure your nervous system function. And you can see exactly where this stress and subluxation is creating interference. And you can address it specifically and track your improvement objectively. And this is the test that your OB should be recommending, but isn't. This is the missing piece in prenatal care that could change everything for you but also for your baby. And whether you're in your first trimester and you want to optimize from the start, or you're in your third trimester and you're just now learning about this, it's not too late because your nervous system can change and your baby's neurological environment can improve. And the research is clear on that. The question is, are you going to settle for standard prenatal care that ignores the master control system? Or are you going to give your baby the regulated nervous system environment that they need for optimal development? So, if you're ready to actually see what's happening within your nervous system and do something about it, click the link in our bio or call Haven Family Chiropractic. Schedule those insight scans with our team because we're not here to replace your OB. We're here to fill a massive gap that they're leaving within your care because your baby's developing nervous system is too important to leave to chance. So let's make sure that we're giving them the best possible start.